Oh, yeah. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. My name is Justin Moore. I'm the founder of Creator Wizard, where I teach you how to find and negotiate your dream sponsorships. Today, we're talking about Q3 pitching strategies. And for those of you wondering, what the heck is Q3, Justin? Well, Q3 stands for quarter three, which is the quarter that's coming up. We are currently in quarter two, but quarter three is coming up next. And so, yeah, if you want to be pitching brands right now, you shouldn't be pitching them for summer. What the heck are you doing? Right? Because they probably already locked in those campaigns already. So make sure you let me know where you're tuning in from in the comments. I am live across YouTube and Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter and TikTok and I don't even know what other platforms. We've got, let's see, we've got Dee tuning in. We've got Shannon tuning in on TikTok. We've got Life with Lala tuning in on YouTube. Good to see you. Let me pull up the Instagram chat. I have got a bunch of different chat windows as always. And let's see, we've got It's Miss Lacey tuning in on Instagram. We've got what is it? SSI Predator Need the Recipe. I think I'm saying that right. Life with Lala is saying from Fort Worth. So why don't we dive right into it? And there is someone using a jackhammer right outside my door. So I don't know what the heck. This literally just started happening. So hopefully you don't hear. Can you guys let me know in the chat? Are you hearing the jackhammer? Because I don't know why that's happening. They just decided they wanted to use a jackhammer today. We've got, hi, I'm Niana tuning in. Hey, I'm working and lurking, but always happy to be here. Thank you so much for letting me know that you're here. We got Chris Quinn, CQ tuning in from LinkedIn as well. Yeah, good to see you guys here. You can't hear anything. Okay, brilliant. Well, that's the advantages of having a Shure mic like this, right? All right, good to know it. All right, so again, we're talking about Q3 pitching strategies. Okay, so when it comes to pitching strategies, generally, it's really important to realize that as brands get larger, the further in advance they plan their influencer marketing campaigns, right? So let's say that you're reaching out for a summer campaign right now. One of the most important things to understand is that you cannot get frustrated if they say they don't have any more budget for paid partnerships at this time, right? Because this is what happens often, right? You reach out, you pitch them on Instagram, you email their press email or something, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we're not working with any creators right now." And it's just like, "Oh, come on, it's June right now. We're just starting summer, right?" And so if you had reached out pitching a back to school campaign or a fall campaign, however, maybe that might have been a different story. They may have been more receptive, right? And so you would think that like they would tell you that, right? Like, hey, we don't have budget for summer right now, but maybe we do for fall, right? But that's not always the case, right? So even if they turn you down, you cannot take no for an answer. You have to keep digging and asking questions to discern what their marketing plan looks like for the rest of the year, right? And so rather than, a lot of people think, oh, I just got this door slammed in my face and the brand hates me, my pitch sucked, they don't like me, my platforms suck. Like it's just this vicious cycle where you're just kind of going down and you just get really down on yourself. You look in the mirror and it's just like this kind of existential crisis, right? I've been there. That's where we were early on when we first started pitching brands. But it wasn't until I started understanding the broader perspective of how these campaigns come together and how long it takes that I just okay, yeah, I'm going to shift to summer. I'm going to shift to back to school. I'm going to shift to fall or holiday. You would be surprised at how many brands are actually planning for holidays right now. Especially, I've talked about before how, when these brands are trying to deploy millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars of marketing capital, it's a non-trivial amount of work to figure out where we can actually spend this money, right? Is it going to be broadcast TV ads? Is it going to be out of home, print, magazines, whatever it is? Is it going to be working with creators, influencers, digital media spends, et cetera? It takes how are they going to deploy that capital? You can't just spend $10 million on Facebook Business Manager in a 30-day period. It takes usually you have agents, you have brokers who are helping you deploy that capital, which is why larger brands, larger advertisers have what's called media agencies oftentimes, where the media agencies are the ones who are they are the ones who are running the overall strategy of all the different ways, all the different places that this brand wants to actually run their advertising. Another subtlety of this whole process is that those distribution channels, the places that you can spend those money, oftentimes have very large lead time. let's look at a magazine, for example. Like if you want to get into a print magazine, sometimes it might take 6 months, 3 months of like lead time to say, yeah, we want to be in the holiday issue of, Good Housekeeping or the holiday issue of Cosmo or something like that, right? Their editorial team, they're planning stuff out way far in advance. And so if you want to, and the other like subtlety or complexity here is that oftentimes they have these things called upfronts. If you've ever heard of this, basically the advertisers say, you have to like lock in your like how much you're going to be committing to spend to us like 9 months in advance or 6 months in advance or 12. If you want to be guaranteed like a placement in this, certain like magazine edition, right? Like for your holiday campaign, you got to commit that money to us 9 months in advance. So again, it's a little bit different for creators because the difference is that like a lot of creators feel as though they have unlimited inventory. What I mean by that is that when a brand decides that they want to work with them, they'll just like create a new piece of content, right? Like, okay, yeah, I'll create a new piece of content integrating this brand. But when you look at it from the more traditional editorial perspective, right, they are publishing this magazine or they're publishing a newsletter every single week. And they're doing this regardless of whether, someone's sponsoring them or not, right? It's the same idea, like creators could learn a thing or two from the traditional publisher model where it's like, hey, this thing is coming out. There's limited inventory basically, right? Like I come out with a video once a week or once a month or, whatever platform you have, podcast, newsletter, whatever. And I don't have unlimited inventory. And it's a true statement. You're not just saying that to manufacture scarcity. You're saying like, I truly only have 52 ad slots for the entire year. Like if you're talking within, certain brands or whatever, and if you want to lock that in, like you can lock it in now, right? Like, because I've got this built-in audience, you want to access them, you're going to have to like commit to that spend now. So again, I don't hear it. Not hearing it. Why are you guys not hearing it? You're not hearing it. Hold on. Let me see here. You're not hearing anything. This is really making me sad. Why are you not hearing anything? Hold on. Let me check. Testing. Audio. It seems like the audio is working. Can you guys let me know, thumbs up in the chat if you're not hearing me? Because that's very weird. We can't hear anything. Nope, can't hear. Why is that? Hold on. Let me take a swig. Why can't you hear anything? Can't hear anything. I've heard this whole time. BYC Rivera says, I've heard this whole time. We can hear you, says Virgie. Oh, wait, we can hear you. Wait, you can hear me now? Your audio is fine. Okay, I don't know why that was not working before. Okay, glad to hear it. Thank you. I can hear you fine on YouTube. Okay, thank you. Oh, we can hear fine. They were referring to the jackhammer. Oh, okay. No, I don't hear it. Okay. Oh my God. Like I'm like stressing. Oh man, I was talking for 10 minutes and no one can hear me. Okay, audio is working great. Okay, thank you. It was the jackhammer. Thank you. Okay, I'm like that's what the delay in the chat. Like people are like, I was reading comments from like 5 minutes ago. So, okay, So yeah, getting back to this whole idea around like creators could learn a thing or two from, publishers' model of like, hey, I have a finite amount of advertising spots that you can book for me, right? It's like a very foreign concept to a lot of creators, but one that's pretty interesting, which is why I think it is so like valuable to like get outside of your content bubble. A lot of people like, oh, I'm a TikToker or I'm a YouTuber, and they just live in this world and all their friends are YouTubers and they only read news about YouTube and they only like, it's just like they live and breathe it, and that's fine. But one of the things, the perspectives that I think I bring to a lot of this stuff that I talk about is like, there's so much that we can learn as creators from other industries, from how from how things have been done in the past, from other platforms, how other creators are building their business on other platforms. Because you really can learn so much. You can structurally change a whole lot about your business. For example, here's a good example, is that I never had a podcast, right? I've been on YouTube since 2009 along with my wife. And, I definitely would consider like myself a YouTuber because that's how we came up. That's how we built our most of our following and influence over the years. But I just launched a podcast about 3 months ago. I've never had a true podcast in earnest. And yet I have started to network and like get to know so many different podcasters. And you know what I really learned from them and what I really started valuing about the business that they had built is that they have a lot more like sponsorship inventory than I ever did, right? Because it's a very normalized thing for a podcast to, let's say, have 2, 3, 4, 5 different sponsor slots if it's an hour-long episode. That just simply does not happen in most other platforms, right? You almost will never see a traditional like VOD, like YouTube video with 5 sponsors. Like that almost never happens. Yeah, you may have like a bunch of affiliate links or something in the info box, but you're usually going to see a custom integration with one sponsor. Normally 95% of the time, right? If it's a YouTube podcast, that's a different story, but I'm talking about like a normal 15, 10, 15, 20 minute video. You're almost always going to see one sponsor, and that's how the brand wants it. They'll be like, well, you want to include multiple sponsors in this video? No way. Like we have to be the only sponsor in there. But with the podcast, it's somewhat normalized. And so I was here sitting thinking like, man, I would really love to have that type of content format in my business so that I could offer that in my sponsorship packages. Yeah, you can work with me on YouTube. You can work with me on all these other platforms, Instagram, whatever it is. But I also have this podcast where, I do pre-rolls, I do mid-rolls, I do all this thing. The other aspect to this is that with a podcast, like you can be your own sponsor much more easily than you can on certain other platforms, right? Like imagine me having a pre-roll on my podcast where I'm like, hey, it's Justin Moore, host of Creator Debates. Did you also know I have a weekly newsletter where I send you paid sponsorship opportunities? Make sure to go to creatorwizard.com/join to sign up for free, right? Like I would not want to put that oftentimes in a YouTube video because that would screw up my retention, right? People could click out of the video right away, and then maybe YouTube's not going to recommend my video to the next viewer, right? But a podcast, like the blessing and the curse of a podcast is that the algorithmic discovery mechanism is totally different. Like there basically is no algorithm, right? And so the likelihood of like my next podcast, not being served to like someone on their podcast player, it's not going to be impacted. They're going to see it, like, right? Regardless of like what I decide to plug like in the first 30 seconds of my podcast, right? So anyways, I got there's a little bit of a tangent, but like it's really, really important to like learn from all the different ways in which other, like not only other creators are building their businesses, but how things have been done like in this advertising space in traditional media, because again, there's like understanding how you can kind of unlock those budgets is really, really critical. Patricia Rose says, we can hear your voice. Okay, thank you. We've got Lloyd George tuning in on YouTube as well. We've got Tracy K. Lev tuning in on Instagram. We've got Salvage by Sammy. We've got It's Miss Lacey, Who is Bear, Intense Lifts, Tracy K. Oh, my first time watching. I'm a real estate agent from Ohio. Good to see you, Tracy. That's awesome. Let's see who we got in the TikTok chat. We've got BBG Sin. Hey, what's going on? Good to see you. We've got Gloria, Agoria Cunningham, WG Moto. What's going on, WG Moto? Good to see you, man. We've got, let's see here. We've got, Williams Ranch of Hondo. Ranch of Hondo. Good to see you here as well. We've got Nicole. Good to see you. We've got Molly. What's going on, Molly, in the TikTok chat? Good to see you, Molly. Let's see here. Molly says, I just started a podcast and it's been so fun to experiment with another medium for content. So proud of you, Molly. That's absolutely amazing. Everyone go subscribe to Molly's new podcast. You have always been like such an incredible supporter of me and my business. And I'm so like honored to know you, Molly. So I'm so proud of you. The little known fact, Molly, if you go to like the landing page to my newsletter, Molly is the testimonial on there. It says something like, Justin's newsletter got me $17,000 worth of brand partnerships or whatever. Like, I can't believe he gives this away for free or something like that. So Molly, I'm so appreciative of you and your support and all your success. Mel says, your newsletter each week is so helpful. One of the only people I regularly read. Cha-ching, applause. Like, we got to put those sound emojis in the chat. Mel, that's so kind of you. I really, really appreciate that. Really, really do. You're the best, Justin. I literally used your scripts from Gifted to Paid this week. Boom. There we go. So glad to hear that, Molly. That's amazing. All right, I'm going to take a swig. All right. We got Xenia Herrera tuning in. We've got Getting Negative tuning in on YouTube. Chef CT as well. Good to see y'all here. All right. So topic of hand, Q3 pitching strategies. Let's dive back into this. So another critical thing to realize about pitching brands right now generally is that this is not business as usual. Okay. Brands and agencies are being super mindful about the global economic climate. Okay. And so they're taking a good, hard, long look at their advertising spend. Okay. Now, This does not mean that they're going to completely eliminate influencer marketing budgets, but it does mean that your pitches do need to be very compelling and like an absolute slam dunk for them to convince their superiors to pay you. It's just not good enough to say, oh, hey, I love your brand. I would love to collaborate, right? No, you say something like, hey, based on the research that I did on your budgeting app, it seems like you're targeting Gen Z. One of the biggest things that I've learned interacting with my audience over the last 6 months is that finding a steady, well-paying job in this economic climate after they graduate high school or college or something is absolutely top of mind. I would love to help tell your brand story about how you can help support them along that journey, right? So you see how much different, how differently that pitch sounds and how it lands to a brand that you're trying to pitch, right? You're acknowledging that this is like a challenging situation for not only brands to advertise in this climate, but also for consumers to understand like they're more discerning in terms of the investments that they're making in themselves and their education and their just general discretionary spending, right? And so like, acknowledging that in your pitch is a good thing to do. It makes you seem like you're not just like covering your ears and sticking your head in the sand and being like, pay me $5,000 for an Instagram post, right? And so the positioning has to be a little bit different, right? It also telegraphs to the brand and the partner that you're savvy, right? You understand that like it's almost like what's in it for them. Right. It's not just like so many creators do this. I talk about this a lot. So many creators, it's very, very me focused. It's like, oh, I'm Justin. I have 100,000 subscribers and I, get this many views and these are my audience demographics and, blah, 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 blah. And the brand just, they don't know you. They don't care. They just deleted your message, right? Like that's in reality, like that is their perspective when they're receiving a cold pitch. And so, doing a little bit of research, digging into what's going on in their world, what's important to them, the campaigns that they're running, the job postings that they have, all of that. Like it's not business as usual for them. Believe me, right? You've seen in the headlines in the news, there's all sorts of layoffs and all that stuff too, but they can't stop spending. They can't stop advertising because then all their sales are going to drive up. So they're probably tightening their belt a little bit though, but they're not stopping advertising. But what they may do is like, hey, let's go rein in the spending on that influencer marketing thing. That seems like a little bit of a experimental approach or strategy anyway. So like let's maybe not do that. Let's hold off on doing that for 6-9 months. No, your job is to go out there and help educate them of like why they cannot do that. Targeting millennials, targeting Gen Z. This is the way in which millennials and Gen Z are making their purchase decisions. You give them an article from Adweek saying as such, or Digiday or whatever. You help illustrate how, you give them a case study of how you've helped this other brand in a similar category achieve results, right? And so you give them this information with your pitch and help them understand that you're not like those other creators. Yeah, you may be having your influencer marketing spend maybe on pause right now, but here's why you should still invest in working with me, because I'm going to help you achieve the outcomes that you still need to accomplish even in this economic climate. So I talk a lot about this idea of like how you're not just a creator, you're a consultant, right? And for creators who say to me like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like I like creating content. That's my jam. Like I'm just doing this just to keep the lights on. Like brand deals are, lucrative and I just kind of want to keep doing that. And I say to them, too bad. You're a business owner. Right? If brand partnerships are one of the major ways in which you are deriving income and the way in which you're keeping your lights on and the way in which you are making, able to afford to make great art and make great content, you have to take this stuff seriously. And so this whole myth of like, oh, the artist, like, yes, I love art and I love amazing content. And I really appreciate people who are amazing storytellers and create all this awesome content, all this stuff too. But that's not a business. That's a hobby. If you're on here and you want to like quit your 9-to-5 job, or you want to, you already quit your 9-to-5 job and you want to stay being able to do this, then you have to take this stuff seriously. You're a consultant, not just a creator, if you work with brands. And you have to like have this mindset shift around like what your responsibilities are when you interact with partners. And this is, I understand this is a tough pill to swallow for some people. But this is the cold truth of it. This is the reality of how this works. If you want to look, my wife and I have been full-time creators for almost 10 years. I quit my full-time medical device job. My wife actually has been a full-time creator for longer than me. She quit in 2012. So she's been doing it over 11 years. I kept my 9-to-5 job critically for 2 years longer than her, but I quit my 9-to-5 job in, let's see, it was My son was born in April 2014, and so I quit 6 weeks after he was born, and I gave 2 weeks notice at my job when I came back from paternity leave. And so 2 months after that, so that would have been June 20th around then. June 20th, 2014 was my last day, like having a true 9 to 5. And so that is 9 years. So I'm coming up on 9 years of doing this full time myself, both my wife and I. And so like that doesn't happen by accident. Okay. It does not happen by accident. And you know what? Brand partnerships are one of the primary revenue drivers that we've had over the last, 10 years of doing this. And so this is not an accident. So developing systems, this is exactly what I teach in all my content and my courses and training and coaching, all that stuff, is that you have to have a system. You have to have a process, a pipeline of partners that you're continuously engaging with, and partnering with over and over and over, rather than hustling and trying to find brand new brands, brand new business to, one-off deals that you're doing every single month. That's not a way to run a business. Do you have any idea how much easier it is to retain those clients? Right? These like software as a service companies, like what they talk about all day long is something called churn. And what churn is like minimizing the amount of people who are stopping paying you each month, right? So if you are on a monthly subscription for a piece of software program, churn is like, okay, how many people like canceled their membership or canceled their service this month? You can apply that same approach to working with partners. It's not the same in that they're not paying you every month, but yeah, you may be it's very, very possible to do 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe monthly partnerships even with certain brands. And so your top priority is to figure out how to keep that client happy and thrilled to continue to work with you, to continue seeing results with them. So one of your top priorities, and in fact, this is one of the things I teach in my Brand Deal Wizard program, is like, how do you just continue to like get them to pay you over and over and over again, right? It's not just about winning the deal. So many people want to focus on the pitching and the negotiating, but in my mind, that is like literally just a small fraction of what it actually takes to develop a sustainable and scalable like income working with brands. And so in fact, this is a perfect opportunity to just take a quick pause and mention that enrollment for cohort number 9 of my Brand Deal Wizard program is starting next week. I can't even believe this. Like it feels like we just did cohort number 8. But enrollment starts on Thursday, June 7th. The first live session is June 8th. Oh, sorry, June 20th. I'm sorry. Enrollment opens on June 8th. First live session is June 20th. And it's just an absolute blast. It's one of my most favorite like things that I do every quarter. Oh no, not every quarter. I do it 3 times a year. So every 4 months basically. And it's pure magic. Honestly, Molly, who you saw in the TikTok chat, she was part of cohort number, what was it? Cohort number 5, Molly? 6? I can't remember what cohort you were part of. But yeah, it was a lot of you on here are like alumni as well. And I always like appreciate you guys here. One thing that I found is like, if you are an alumni of Brand Deal Wizard, it's like hard to unlearn the knowledge. And then you just want to learn it all the time. Like we see Gil says, I learned a lot in the Brand Deal Wizard course. Like so many of you just always tune in every week because there's always something to learn, right? So yeah. Molly says, y'all, BDW is the best. I literally quit my job within a month after that program. Molly, hold on, let me take a screenshot of this. I'm gonna I always have to, I feel like I'm always like screenshotting your testimonials, Molly. Oh no, dude, I suck at the iPhone, dude. Okay, hold on, screenshot. Okay, I got it. Hold on, I'm gonna save it because if I don't save it, I'm gonna lose it. Oh no, I screwed it up. I clicked the wrong thing. Oh my God, I was like, hold on. I don't even know if these things save unless I like actually share them. Hold on. I'm coming back to TikTok, I promise. But this is gold. This is a good example of like, you got to save your testimonials because it's like, there's nothing better than gold testimonials. Delete screenshot. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm back. Okay, let me put this back. Oh my God. Sorry. Thank you for the amazing testimonial, Molly. Okay, I'm gonna take a swig real quick. Okay. If any of y'all just put a quick bookend on the thing about Brand Deal Wizard. If any of y'all are interested in learning more about it, go to branddealwizard.com to sign up for the waitlist. And just real quick breakdown of what it is. It's a 4-week program. It is very intense. I'm not going to lie. It's very intense because I ask a lot of you, and if you really want to learn this stuff, you got to show up. You got to put in the work. You got to do the homework. I know we're all busy. I hear that. I understand that. But if I told you that I could help you learn how to like go from charging, let's say $1,000 to $10,000 per partnership? Would you do it without 10 times the amount of work? Because that's really one of the major takeaways for a lot of creators out of this program is like understanding how to structure your deals, how to properly price, how to properly negotiate. So week 1 is all about pitching, understanding how do you actually craft a compelling pitch that the brand is not going to ignore and ghost you on? How do you find like the right people to talk with, like to actually send this pitch to at brands? Week 2 is all around pricing, negotiation, package strategy, upselling. We go through real negotiations, understand the back and forth, all that. Week 3 is all around what I call the flawless partnership execution framework. So kind of what we were just talking about a few minutes ago of like, how do you convince a brand that during the production phase, during the feedback round, that like they walk away from this partnership thinking that this is the best partnership we've ever done with a creator, and we were definitely hiring them again. So that's the focus of week 3. How do you actually do that in practice? Week 4 is all around those. So the final week is all around nurturing brands for income, consistency, and scalability. So like another thing that we talk about, like case studies. How do you put together post-campaign reports so that the brands, like you actually can deliver not just quantitative data, but also qualitative insights into like how brands are, like, sorry, I just got distracted with my boo, April Athena, saying hi boo in the chat. See how like my mind instantly goes to my wife because I just see her in the chat. What's up, baby? Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, baby. So yeah, week 4 is all around like that income consistency. How do you like basically keep your sponsorship wheels spinning so that you can continue to get these deals over and over and over again? So, but it's like, it's amazing. There's live Q&A, there's office hours with Dee, who's our community manager, who's also an alum of the court. There's guest sessions. So we have 3 guest sessions this cohort. One guest session is with Heidi Mika from Mechanism, which is a really large advertising agency. And we're going to talk about how do you stand out to advertising agencies. So that's on week 1. The week 2 live session is with Jenny Heinrich, who is, man, she's been in the influencer marketing space for like 15 years. Like she's worked with, Ketchum, Edelman, like top influencer marketing, like roles, VP roles at these agencies. And I think our session is going to be called Inside the Mind of a Brand, which I'm really excited to kind of dig into that. And then one of our other guest sessions is with Mohammed from Benji. And we're going to be talking all around demystifying creator finances. So we're going to talk about money management, like tax implications, like, all those kind of like incorporating and all that stuff. It's going to be a great session. So yeah. And in addition to the live guest sessions, we have this whole archive of other amazing guest sessions that we've done over the last, several cohorts as well. So there's just like tons of resources, sponsorship pricing calculator, like Notion templates, email scripts. Like I don't even know how many templates there are now. There's probably like 50 templates or something. It's crazy how many resources we have now. We have a 25-page Brand Deal Wizard handbook now. That's like a supplementary resource. You don't get to like 9 cohorts of a course without doing something right is the point. And so, really looking forward to launching cohort number 9. Gil says in the chat, sponsorship calculator is glorious. Thank you, Gil. I appreciate you very much. All right. Molly says, ooh, handbook. Yeah, Molly, where have you been? Got to go into the Brand Deal Wizard community and download the new Brand Deal Wizard handbook, which is available to alumni as well. Come on, let's dive in. Okay, so before we get into Q&A, I want to round out this conversation around Q3 pitching strategies with a plea, okay? So if you're feeling frustrated that you're pitching brands and you're not hearing back from them, they're ghosting you, they're saying they're not available, they're not running any, influencer campaigns right now, whatever. What I want you to do is you have to please stop worrying about other creators' businesses, because where oftentimes creators' minds go is that they get rejected and then they turn around and they see another creator on their feed or another creator in their network getting a deal. And they're like, why are they getting deals and I'm not? It's very frustrating. I understand. Okay. People think, oh man, but they're growing or they're getting more deals than me, or what? Or here's another variation of that is like, oh, they're just accepting a bunch of free stuff from brands. And it's like making it more difficult for someone like me to actually advocate for themselves and get paid my worth. Right? Have you ever had this, intrusive thought creep into your head? Well, my plea for you is that you have absolutely no control over any of those things. What other people choose to do, or the fact that other people are getting deals, that has nothing, that's completely out of your hands. The only thing that you have control over is you. Now, it is helpful to grow your network and become friendly with other creators, right?
Period.
Oh, here we go. Get over here, boo. Come sit on my lap. Look at how good you looking. Yes, they do. You looking snatch. Come here. Come sit with me. Hi.
Oh, look
how
at
are
me
you?
matching with my man.
I was like, I didn't know if it was you at first because that's not your usual profile.
That's not me.
It didn't have your profile image. Wait, that's not you? You haven't been chatting with me?
No, that's not me.
It's not?
No.
Okay, we got a scammer.
There's an April.
Yeah, it's like Space Athena. I thought you were like signed into one of your other cans.
You douche! How dare you pretend to be me? Ew.
Okay, all right, we got to block.
That's disturbing. Block. Ew. The heck? No one could be me. Ew.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I'm so bothered. Ew. Can't wait for lunch. You obsessed with me.
I thought that was you.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious. We got April in the flesh here, so it's all good.
I'm so bothered.
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't be bothered. You got me right here, boo. Can you close my door, baby? It's okay. Yeah, imposter spotted. Thank you, baby. Gil says, Justin, you've made it. I know I've made it when people start impersonating my wife and trying to, I guess I don't know what's up with that. That's weird. Guys, we have had, like, this is like child's play. You can't even begin to like imagine the trolls that we've dealt with and imposters like over the years. This is nothing. Don't worry. So I don't get flustered by this at all. So you saw that I paused earlier and I was like looking at the profile because it didn't have her profile photo and it said April space Athena 7 and I was like, I don't know, but I thought maybe she signed into like another like account because Gmail, they like give you like weird accounts that like aren't your actual YouTube channel or whatever. So I was like, oh, is that her? But I guess it wasn't. So that's funny. Let's see. Miss Lacey says, hey April, what's going on? Yeah, it's so funny. Nice kid. Who is nice kid? Is that nice? Kid. Oh, we got a saluting emoji. What's going on, nice kid? Taha says, you get hilarious. You two are so funny. I appreciate that very, very much. Nena says, oh, I love when she comes in. Yeah, April is the best. She always like spices up my live streams and makes it so good. Parker's on the go says, good afternoon. Happy to catch the live. It's been a while. Good to see you. What's going on, Parkers? All right. So just to like put a bookend on this whole conversation around Q3 pitching, this whole idea of like, not worrying about other creators' businesses, right? Again, it is valuable to kind of develop a network, become friendly with other creators, of course, so that you don't feel isolated. We all need support. I get it. However, when it comes to pitching brands, what worked for other people is not necessarily going to work for you or work for your business or your platforms or your channel or whatever. And so there may be templates out there or maybe even stuff that you've been told like from other like coaches or whatever. But at the end of the day, your path to success is going to be forged by you and you alone. Okay. And so I just want to give you that permission. I want to give you this like pep talk to help you understand that like, when a brand tells you no, it's not yet. It's just not the right time for them, but you have to stay on their radar. You have to continue to nurture that relationship, which is one of the major core tenets of what you'll learn from the stuff that I teach. And so I just wanted to like give you like impart you with this, imbue this wisdom on you, because I wish that I had someone earlier on our creator journey when we were getting, kicked to the curb, trying to pitch brands and, getting crickets and stuff like that. It was really, I think I was lucky in the sense that I have a pretty perseverant attitude, a pretty, I don't let things bother me. Like I'm very objective about it. Like if someone tells me no, I'm just like, okay, I'll hit you again in a couple of weeks. It's not a big deal. Like, this type of thing. And, unless they block me and they're like, really don't like, hey, stop like talking to me, this kind of thing. But most brands are not. Like they're very courteous. They're kind. Staying on their radar is something that they appreciate actually oftentimes. Like we've had, when we've had guest experts come in and do sessions in my Brand Deal Wizard program, one of the common themes that you'll hear is that brands love talking to creators. They do not get annoyed when you're pitching them. Like that is the minority of if brands have ever like acted annoyed or like said, don't talk to us, or they've ghosted. Like most of the time that like brands really do appreciate you staying top of mind. And like especially if they have a like influencer marketing or creator partnerships is like a significant part of their marketing strategy, right? They're probably working with 50, 75, 100 different creators, if they're, trying to activate a larger campaign. Or if they're, let's say a brand that is targeting something like Gen Z, influencer marketing is probably going to be 50, 75% of their marketing strategy generally. So they are working with tons of creators on a monthly basis. And so you reaching out, staying on their radar, messaging them every, once a month with new, interesting, valuable insights or ideas or whatever, like that's going to keep them top of mind because they're busy. They're all doing different things. They're all probably wearing multiple, like your contact's probably wearing multiple hats. And so you're not annoying them, I guess is the point. You're not annoying them. And so again, if you're getting rejected, you're trying to pitch for summer campaigns right now and you're not having a lot of success, like just pivot. Don't get upset about it. Like, one of the things I teach in the program is that like you can't, like one pitch is not enough. like minimum four pitches to be able to stay on their radar, continue to stay engaged with them, even if they're not responding to you. That's a really hard time for some people. It just feels like it's shouting into the void, like, hello, 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 hello. You want to work with me, right? It's like, it feels really, really difficult doing that, but it's a muscle. It's a muscle that you can build and it grows and it is actually possible to remain objective about this stuff and not take it personally. So, Taha says, this is Tracy Cleve, a realtor from Ohio. I moved from Instagram to YouTube to watch you. Awesome. Good to see you here, Tracy. Andrew Moon says, thanks for the great advice. Of course, Andrew, great to see you. Nice Kid says, I follow you on IG. Fantastic stuff, brother. Appreciate that. Okay, I had a question here in the Instagram chat. First of all, it's Miss Lacey says, I need to sign up for your course. Of course you do. Come on, Lacey. Come on, it'll be so much fun. Love to have you in there. Okay, so we got a question here. How do you charge more once you wow them? Great question. So, some creators ask me like, how do you, once you have started working with a brand, you had a really great relationship with them, maybe you put out some compelling content, they were super thrilled with the partnership. How do you then go on to charge higher amounts later down the line? Because a lot of people think, I'm going to, establish this really challenging price precedent where, maybe I charged a low amount, $500, $1,000, $2,000, whatever for these initial partnerships. But now, you know what? 6 months later, a year later, I've grown now. I have all this more followers, more engagement, more viewership, downloads, listens, opens, whatever it is, whatever platform. Like now, how do I tell the story of like why they need to pay me more? And I think that's like it seems on the surface like a really difficult situation, but in reality, it's quite easy. What you cannot do is say to them, hey, you need to pay me more money now because I have more followers. Because to them, the business outcomes haven't changed, right? You're still creating the same amount of content, especially if it's a brand awareness campaign. Like it's not like you're driving more sales for them. Like it'd be one thing if it was a conversion focused campaign. And like you are now you have an affiliate dashboard or something, or a dashboard where you can see your performance. And when you first started working with them, they were paying you $500 a post, and you could see that you were driving, $3,000 worth of business or sales or transactions, signups, whatever. But now 6 months later, you still have that same dashboard. They're still paying you $500 per post or whatever. Now you're driving $10,000 worth of business per post or something. Like clearly, like you could absolutely make the case that you need to re-level the compensation to align for the increased, conversions that you're driving. That's one thing. But if we're talking about a repurposing campaign or a brand awareness campaign where that's not the deliverables, that's not the outcomes that they're actually looking for, then what you need to come, you need to come to them with a much better pitch than like, I have more followers now, you have to pay me more. Like that's not going to work. What you have to do is like, okay, help them illustrate other ways that you can provide value to them. That may be a little bit more orthogonal than you had in mind. Harkening back to some of the other things that we've talked about here is being a creator, being a consultant, not just a creator, right? And so maybe it's social strategy you're going to do for them. Hey, I will have a monthly or a quarterly call with your team to help you understand of what I am seeing work on social media right now, on TikTok or on YouTube or Pinterest, or, I have this newsletter, I have a paid Discord community, I have a blah, 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 blah. You have all these different things that you can provide insights to them because they're not doing this every day in and day out. Like you think brands have it all figured out and they understand every little thing that's going on social media, especially TikTok. Like trends come and go so quickly. And so it's like basically impossible for brands, advertisers, companies to keep on top of that stuff. And so if you are their resident expert in that and they pay you a retainer for that, maybe that's a conversation they're willing to have with you. So yeah, maybe to date, it's been a little bit more transactional and they've, only paid you per post or whatever. But here you come and say, hey, you have experience working with me. I do good work, but I believe that I can provide more value to you in the following ways. This whole thing about being a consultant is just one example, but it's like you have to come to them with other ideas so they say, oh, Justin actually can help us in other ways that we actually didn't realize, right? And so that is how you get out of this price precedent, is help them is start to detach your worth from just like pure linear math. Like, okay, they're paying me $500 a post. If I want to make more money, I have to do 2 to get 1,000 or 4 to get 2,000 or whatever. Like that's what you have to break free of. And in reality, that is like one of the core tenets of, of what I teach is, really truly understanding that you have worth beyond just your, beyond being a commoditized asset, right? It's like, oh, well, if that person doesn't want to do it for 500, we'll go over and hire these 5 other people that that'll do it for 500, right? It's like, how do you get them to have that unlock in your mind that you have to be put in a different bucket, if that makes sense. So does that help? I'm curious if that answers your question, but that's kind of where my mind goes here. We've got Lola, we've got Akalia tuning in on TikTok as well. We've got Christina Gabrielle Rosaladora. Good to see you here. We've got Kimberly Millionaire. What's going on, Kimberly? Kimberly, I saw that you just signed up to be an affiliate for the next live launch of Brand Deal Wizard. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you so much. Little inside baseball here, y'all. I have been doing so much stuff behind the scenes. I got to be honest, I'm feeling a little burnt out with everything that's going on behind the scenes of the business because I'm a masochist, I guess. I don't know. I like feeling like constantly busy. I don't know why. But basically, I'm not only am I experimenting with basically I have a brand new sales page. I'm using Squarespace now for my sales page. I'm using a new checkout tool called Pay Kickstart to do transactions instead of Thinkific, which was what I was using before. And now on top of that, there's a whole new affiliate mechanism where, if you were an alumni of a program, all my alumni are eligible to be affiliates. And so there's this whole new process that I have to do there. There's a lot more I won't even get into, but it's like my cup is feeling like I need to regenerate soon. And on top of that, I'm doing a keynote speech at Craft and Commerce next week in Boise, Idaho. And so I've been working with a speech coach and developing my speech and it's my kid's last week of school. And it's just like, right. But it's like, I don't know. You guys probably can commiserate, right? It's like, we all have lives too. And we're trying to build this online business thing and we're trying to make money. And maybe, a lot of y'all still have a 9-to-5 job. It's just it's a lot. Do you guys ever feel that way? That it's just it just feels like a lot. It's constantly this, almost like this treadmill of and I want to continue to make great content and put out, I haven't made a YouTube video in 2 months, a true YouTube video. I still do these live streams, but I love making YouTube videos, instilling advice. And I've definitely kept up the newsletter though. I've never missed a digest on that. I'm sending multiple times a week. So it's just a lot, and I do have a team and it's just so it definitely helps, but it's just a lot. You guys ever feel that? You guys commiserate with me for a second here. I don't really talk about this stuff much, but I definitely am feeling, my gosh. Let's see. Lola said, what is the benefit of the new payment platform versus the old one? I'm keeping notes for when I launch my product in the future. Happy to share. So, one of the limitations of Thinkific. So I use a platform called Circle for my private community. And, I have basically gone all in on Circle for not only my private forums and resource information that basically people get access to when they join the program. But I've also started adding my courses into there too, because they have a course feature now where you can actually utilize Circle to deliver knowledge, right? So it's if you've ever purchased an online course, that there's modules and you get them unlocked when you sign up and all this stuff too. And so having all of that in one place, all my courses and all the private forums and all that stuff too, makes it just so much more cohesive. Not only that, I have a free area in my community now. If you're in there, I have over 1,000 creators in there now, where I have a bunch of free stuff in there too. So it's like all my YouTube videos, like if I'm ever featured on a podcast, like we post all of our paid sponsorship opportunities in there too. So it's like super, super valuable. And then there's value in having them in there so that they can see all the other offers that I have, right? So if they ultimately decide down the line to invest in a course or like work with me, it's like instead of all these different places in which they can find out about all the different ways to like work with my business or hire us, it's all in one place. And so to be able to do that, I really did need like kind of a, there's a lot of other like, man, this has been like a whole journey of like, eventually kind of transitioning off of Thinkific. But one of the reasons technically I needed to have a standalone cart solution that I could embed anywhere. So I could basically like make my own sales page on my own website and then just kind of embed a cart where you could like accept payments, right? It's a non-trivial thing to be able to accept payments, right? Whether it's like Google or just regular credit cards or whatever. And so like that's probably more than you wanted to know, but that's really kind of the behind the scenes there. Okay. Got a question here from Katricia Rose. Can you give an example of what nurturing a relationship with a previous partner looks and sounds like when there's no active project between you? All right, I got a great example here. One of the things that I teach my Brand a Wizard program is how important it is to put together what I call a post-campaign report. So what most creators do is that when a campaign wraps, the brand will just email them and be like, hey, can you send me a screenshot of your insights, your analytics, whatever, downloads, whatever it is. And the creator screenshots it. They send them an invoice, they get paid, end of story, and then the creator like basically literally never talks to them again. At the very most, what some people do is they email them 2 months later and be like, hey, do you have any work for me? Any active campaigns that you need help with, right? And the brand says no, and then it's like they don't, and then they like never email them again, basically. Like I've seen this play out. I can't tell you how many times, right? And so creators wonder like, okay, in those lulls, well, first of all, let's discuss like what you should do instead, not that. Okay. What you should really be doing is putting together these post-campaign reports that provide not only quantitative data, but qualitative insights into the partnership. So the stats are one thing, right? But it's like, for example, what was the outcome that you were trying to accomplish, right? Was it more sales? Was it broader brand awareness about this campaign, this brand, this promotion, whatever? Was it they were trying to repurpose content of yours and they were running paid advertising with it now, whatever it is? So you basically summarize, okay, this was the objective that we had with this partnership. And then you have insights there into whether you accomplished it or not. You have a page that says results, right? One example that I like to share here is that my wife and I recently did a partnership with Peacock Plus, the streaming platform, and they had a new movie that was going to be premiering on Peacock Plus, which was Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I don't know if those of you guys who have kids probably saw this movie, and if you didn't, you should go and download Peacock Plus to go watch it. No, I'm just kidding. They're not sponsoring this live stream. Although Peacock Plus, if you want to holla at your boy, please let me know. And so the objective with this campaign, when we were initially engaging with them and talking with them and all this stuff, was drive more signups to Peacock Plus to watch The Last Wish on Peacock on the platform. That was the objective, right? And so you might think, well, like, how are we going to know whether people actually signed up, right? Like, they didn't give us a link. There was no tracking link there. And even if they did, a lot of brands are not going to actually share how many signups you got or how many sales you drove or whatever it is, right? And so all we have is like public facing insights, which was, yeah, we have the insights of how the post performed, but you know what we also have? We have comments. We have comments about what people say about this partnership that we did. And you know what we had? We had hundreds of comments of people saying like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you for letting me know. Just signed up for Peacock Plus. I'm watching it with my kids right now. And so we just screenshotted the heck out of all those comments and put them on the results page and say, hey, you were trying to drive a bunch of outcomes, results of people signing up for Peacock Plus. Guess what? We accomplished that. Take a look at all these comments, anecdotal comments of people saying, we did the thing you asked us to do. And so short of actual quantifiable metrics that we can like point to that the brand shares with us, right? We can be creative. And guess what? This was an agency that we were working with. We sent this to them and their minds were literally blown. And what do you think they did? They forwarded that on to the client and said, hey, guess what? Hiring this creator here, paying them, compensating this amount, it was worth it. We should hire them again. It's simple stuff. And so to answer your question, to like really hone in on this. Okay, like what do you do? Sure, that's what you send. That you send the post campaign report in the beginning, right when the like at the end, right when the campaign wraps. But then what happens then? Well, you can send an updated PCR, right? Like in a month, 2 months, maybe the content continues to perform well. This happens on YouTube all the time, right? A video will perform really pretty well within the first 15 days, but then maybe, it goes on to get 2, 3, 4, 5 times the amount of views over 6 months or something. So maybe it's an updated post-campaign report that you're going to send, like 6 months later to touch in, right? You don't want to wait that long. 6 months is too long, but like, that's a good example of something that you can do. Like some people ask me like, oh, well, I didn't submit a post-campaign report. And now like, well, is it too late? Like this was like a couple months ago, 6 months ago. Like it does not matter how long the campaign was ago. If you never submitted one, submit one, create one and be like, oh, Throwback Thursday, Flashback Friday, loved partnering with you a year ago. Here's some insights I pulled together of how this campaign went. Would love to chat about how we can collaborate again on a new campaign. All right, so I'm kind of simplifying it here a little bit, but like this is the mindset that you have to have going into this, is that it doesn't matter how long ago, if there, like if there was a lull and like since you've last, contacted them, the real ethos that you have to have, or the real mindset that you need to just remember when you're, engaging and nurturing brands and all this stuff is like provide value. If something slides across your desk, an article that makes you think of the brand, updated insights, whatever it is, just have this mindset. Is this valuable to the brand? Is this something that they would find valuable if I reached out and shared this? And then if it is, send it to them. It doesn't matter if the campaign wrapped a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 months ago. It doesn't matter. Is this valuable to them? Rather than, oh, do you have any campaigns? Like, are you recruiting for any campaign? That's not valuable. That's not providing any value. Okay? Katricia Rose says, thank you, Justin. I have done some great work with several brands now, and I've received lots of praise, but I'm trying to figure out how to ride and sustain these opportunities for everything I can. Katricia, I think you need to join Brand Deal Wizard. That's what we teach. That's what we talk about. Honestly, I'm not like, even if you don't sign up, it's fine. But I like really, this is the core reason that I created the program, is helping people understand how do you turn these one-off deals into sustained partnerships, because it's not enough to just do a bunch of great work, work with them once and then never talk to them again. and then you're back out there trying to hustle and find your next deal. I will say though, that, it really does depend the type of entity that you're working with to forge these partnerships. It's harder. I'll be totally straight with you. It's harder to create ongoing relationships the more people that are in the middle, the more middlemen or women that are in there, like liaising or managing the campaign. So if it was a, influencer agency or a brand deal platform or something who is facilitating the deal, oftentimes they're not managing an ongoing strategy for the brand or the advertiser. It's like, hey, the brand paid us $250K to execute this campaign. We executed the campaign, and then that agency has to go out there and fight for more business again and win these deals. I know this for a fact because I ran an influencer agency for 7 years. I know how this stuff works, right? And so it was very rare. We had way more one-off business that we won than ongoing clients, right? And so the client, when I say ongoing clients, like the clients who are paying us on retainer every month to like do what I call an always on influencer strategy, where every month they're activating influencers and all that stuff too. Like it's much more common for these large, medium-sized, larger advertisers to say, hey, we want to run a promotion, a campaign around this new product or this summertime thing or this holiday thing. We want to talk about the benefits. There's like a promo code, there's discount, whatever it is. We want to spend $250K. Give us a pitch. What can you do for us at $250K? And this is the game. This is the game. This is how the vast majority of influencer marketing budgets or partnerships budgets are spent, is in this manner. Again, it goes back to this whole idea of like, brands are not just spending money to spend money. They're spending money to achieve a business outcome. And oftentimes their business outcomes are not ongoing. They're, hey, this is the quarterly objective that we have for this month. It's playing up this feature or trying to target this audience or trying to do XYZ. They're always constantly trying to shift and focus and try to figure out ways in which they can more efficiently acquire customers or, acquire more ads, more content that they can use for advertising, their content marketing strategy to get stuff for their website, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think this is a really, really important insight to have, is that is the reason that a lot of these budgets are one-off, is because they have these one-off objectives that they're trying to achieve. And so, your hands are, the agency's hands are a little bit tied when you come to them and be like, work with me every month or work with me every quarter. They're just like, sorry, that's not how it works. I will say though, that the encouraging trend for sure is that brands are starting to really understand that that's not the best way to allocate money. Like it really does make more sense to have more of a sustained, even approach. So instead of spending $250K in one fell swoop on a solitary campaign, let's actually allocate $500K and spread it out over, 12 months or something like that, where we're going to spend, roughly $40K a month or something, whatever, like something like that, where it's like every month we're having some sort of touch point. But it's just, brands are slowly but surely coming around to like the efficacy of that approach. But again, like these are a lot of the brands who are spending a lot of money, they're relatively entrenched, right? They're the incumbent, like they're the Unilevers, the P&Gs, the world. And they have they're very here's the thing, they're savvy. A lot of people think that they criticize brands for being slow or like dumb or like not understanding stuff. And I think it's actually the opposite. It's really, really hard to deploy lots of capital. Believe me, it's so difficult. Right. And so you have to respect that it's a very, very large ship and they're trying to steer it. And there's all these people whenever I talk about this stuff, I feel like creators think I'm nuts because people, they love to hate on brands. They love to hate, brands are trying to screw us. They're they don't understand social media, that all this stuff. And I have a very, very different perspective. I approach everything from empathy. It's that may be the case. Okay, I get it. It's fine. But it's really, really hard to run a very large organization, deploy capital in that way at scale as they are. And so you can be their savior. You can parachute in and be like, don't worry, I got you. I understand this stuff is complicated and complex for you. Let me help you make sense of it all, right? And so rather than coming to them with this default disposition of condescension, you come to them with this default disposition of empathy, right? And compassion. And hey, I get it. I understand that this is how you've done things before and this is how you've worked with other creators, but that's not how I run my business. That I'm actually going to serve you in a very different way, right? And so I don't know. It's just a fun, I think all of y'all here, you are part of my tribe, right? Can I get some thumbs up? Can I get some applauses, some cha-chings in the chat? Are you guys part of my tribe? Because I feel like if you wouldn't be here unless you that resonated with you, right? Let me know. Let me know if you are, because I need some validation here. Okay. Katricia Rose says in the chat, I seriously want to. I will soon. I'm allocating the funds. Yeah, of course, Trisha. No worries, no rush. Honestly, I'm happy to serve you regardless. She fires. We got some hand clap emojis. We got some thumbs up from Drea and from Lacey. Appreciate you guys. Sunny D, thumbs up. We got this thing. Waraula. Hold on. I want to pronounce your name correctly. Waraula. Did I do that correctly? Please, if I did not, it's very important to me that I pronounce people's names properly. So let me know if I didn't. Virgie Bright Ellington said, thank you for all you do, Justin. We love you. Virgie, I appreciate that so much. That really means a lot to me. And hello, Happy Mom said, yes, for sure. Appreciate that so much. All right. Let's see here. So final question. I do have to run kind of right on time today because, like I said, it's final week of my kids' school and there's all these events that we're going to right after this. So let me see if I have any questions that I missed here in the chat. Latinx Montessori said, watching during my lunch break, learning so much from you. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Glad to have you here. Let's see here. Quick question here from Waraula. Do you think it's better to oh my gosh, sorry. I've been talking a mile a minute. Okay. All right, so we got a question here. Do you think it's best to just introduce yourself to the brand in the first email, then pitch later? Definitely not. That's not, you absolutely need to just get off your chest. This is exactly what I'm going to do for you, because the brand does not have time for pleasantries. This is the cold truth, the cold reality of it. Here is why I'm contacting you. Here is how I can help you. End of story. I can help you in the following ways. Boom, 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 boom. I saw you're trying to do this. Here's why I'm credible. Here's what I'm pitching you. Are you free on Thursday at 10 a.m. to talk about it? It's my rope pitching methodology that I teach. Okay, and so brand does not have time for pleasantries. I'm just going to be totally honest. They, especially if it's a medium or a larger size brand, they have people in their inbox, in their DMs, spamming their press email, trying to work with them all the time. And so you have to immediately cut through the noise and help them understand why you are different. Okay. So that's like a really, really important insight for sure. And I'm sorry, like a lot of people call me their kind of like tough love mentor when it comes to this kind of stuff, but it's true. I'm telling you the honest truth here because I get pitches all the time, right? When I was running the agency rather, I got pitches all the time because our email at the agency got passed around and all these different influencer chats and all this stuff. And so we'd get people pitching us all the time. Oh, like, let me work with you. And 99% of the time it was an ego stroke on behalf of the creator. And you'd think that would be the right approach, right? It's like, oh, I have this many followers, this demographics, and all that stuff too. I don't know who this person is. And I'm not actively recruiting for a campaign right now, so it's completely irrelevant to me. I actually was always strove to be kind and compassionate and responded to people and polite about it. But a lot of people won't. They just won't have time. So they'll ghost you. They'll ignore you. They'll delete your email, right? So you have to be like, what is in it for them? Okay. Chris Quinn and LinkedIn says, amen. We got financial rocket science. Jacob, what's going on? Another alum of Brand Deal Wizard in the chat. What should I say in a follow-up email when following up with brands that haven't responded to the first cold email? So, one of the things I would really encourage you to go back and revisit the Pinot follow-up method that we talked about in Brand Deal Wizard, Jacob, is this whole idea of constantly providing value. So, hey, if that first idea wasn't resonant, here's another idea I had, right? Or oh, I just saw this article, it made me, here's how another brand in a similar category is killing it on short form content or something. Thought you'd find this interesting. Oh, would you be interested in doing a Zoom lunch and learn with your marketing team or your agency or whatever, where I can talk about trends and what I'm seeing work on short form content or whatever. I know you do short form, so that's why I'm saying it, right? But it's like you're always pivoting to providing value rather than like, hey, just wanted to follow up on my last pitch, right? It's like that's just going to receive more crickets, right? And so yeah, definitely go back to the Pinot follow-up method, Jacob, because I think that'll really help. Guys, we are at time here. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who show up every week. Really does mean so much to me. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And hope you have a wonderful Friday. Happy Friday. And I will see you all on the flip side. And by the way, again, enrollment for Brand Deal Wizard cohort number 9 opens next week. So make sure to check it out. Go to branddealwizard.com. Actually, let me drop it in the chat here. Why not? branddealwizard.com. Boom. There we go. So have a wonderful weekend, y'all, and I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.